9 painful truths why narcissistic parents don't truly love their children. The idea that a parent might not truly love their child is deeply unsettling, almost taboo. Yet for those who grew up with a narcissistic parent, the absence of genuine conditional love often casts a long shadow. It's not about a lack of affection displays, but a fundamental deficit in the way they relate. Understanding why can be a painful but critical step towards healing and self-acceptance. Here are 9 reasons why a narcissist love for their children often isn't love at all. Truth number 1. Narcissistic parent sees child as extension. No true individuality. First, and perhaps most foundational, they see their children not as separate individuals, but as extensions of themselves. Your achievements are their achievements to brag about. Your failures are their embarrassments to hide or punish. It's that strange feeling, isn't it? When your parent seems more invested in how your life looks to others than how it feels to you. You might have grown up wondering, do they see me or just who they want me to be? Many children of narcissists feel like prized possessions or a project rather than a person. They might hear things like, "You're making me look good," or conversely, "How could you do this to me?" It's like an artist who views their painting solely as a reflection of their own talent, not as a creation with its own existence. They want you to mirror their desires. They want you to fulfill their unmet ambitions. They want you to be the perfect accessories to their life. What they are really demonstrating is, your purpose is to reflect positively on me. Your individuality is secondary, even threatening to my need for you to be a flawless extension of my ego. This isn't parental pride. It's self-absorption projected onto a child. So truth number 2, narcissist parents lack empathy. Child's feelings ignored. Number 2, a narcissist fundamentally lacks genuine empathy, making it impossible to truly connect with a child's inner words. They might dismiss your tears with a "Stop being so dramatic," or ignore your excitement unless it serves them. You know that hollow feeling when you try to share something deeply personal and it's met with indifference or worse, irritation. As a child, you might have thought, why doesn't mom or dad understand how I feel? Am I wrong for feeling this way? We have all craved to be truly seen and understood by our parents. And when that's missing, it leaves a profound void. They might even say, "You're too sensitive," when you're simply expressing a normal childhood emotion. It's like trying to explain color to someone who can only see in black and white. Your vibrant emotional landscape is simply incomprehensible to them. They can perform empathy if it gains them something, but they don't feel it. What they are really showing is, your emotional needs are an inconvenience to me unless they align with my own. I cannot and or will not step into your shoes and feel what you feel. This isn't tough love. It's an emotional disconnect, a profound inability to attune to their child's heart. So truth number 3 is, narcissist parent conditional love. Child must earn approval. Third, any love or approval a narcissistic parent offer is almost always conditional. It's tied to your performance, your obedience, your ability to meet their needs and expectations. Did you ever feel like you were constantly auditioning for their affection? Like love was something you had to earn day by day? That feeling, the one wrong step, one failure to meet their standards could mean the withdrawal of warmth. As a child, you might internalize this as if I'm perfect. Maybe they'll love me, or I must not be good enough. Many children in these situations grow up feeling like they are on a perpetual treadmill, driving on an approval that's always just out of reach. It's like a business transaction. You provide me with X, good grades, perfect behavior, admiration, and I will provide you with Y, conditional approval, fleeting praise. They want you to be a source of validation. They want you to be compliant. They want you to constantly seek their endorsement. What they're really communicating is, my affection is a reward, not a given. You're valuable to me only as long as you serve my purpose and reflect well on me. This isn't guidance or high standards. It's emotional manipulation that teaches a child their worth is external and performative. So truth number 4 is, narcissist parent needs supply. Child has ego boost. So number 4 is, children often become primary source of narcissistic supply. This means the child's role is to make the parent feel important, admired, special, or even catered to. It could be the child who is paraded around for their talents, or the child who's expected to be the parent's confident and emotional caretaker. Far too young. Haven't you seen or experienced that dynamic where a child seems to exist to prop up the parent's ego? You might have felt an immense pressure, thinking, I have to make them happy, or it's my job to make sure they feel good about themselves, often at the expense of your own childhood. It's a common burden for children of narcissists to feel responsible for their parents' emotional state. It's like the parent is an empty vessel, and the child is tasked with constantly pouring in validation and attention to keep them from feeling empty. They want your admiration. They want your unwavering attention. They want you to fill the void within them. What they're really seeking is, you exist to feed my ego. Your achievements, your obedience, even your problems, if they bring me attention, are all forms of supply for me. This isn't a parent-child bond. It's an emotional vampire dynamic. Truth number 5. Narcissist parent competes with child. Envy replaces nurturing. Fifth, as strange as it sounds, a narcissistic parent can become envious of or competitive with their own child, especially as the child grows and develops their own talents, beauty, or successes. Instead of pride, they might feel threatened. This can manifest as subtly undermining the child's achievements, being overly critical, or even trying to sabotage their efforts. You know that confusing feeling when your parent, who should be your biggest cheerleader, seems almost resentful of your light. As a child or teen, you might think, why can't they just be happy for me? Did I do something to make them angry? It's a deeply unsettling experience when a parent doesn't seem to celebrate your independent successes. It's like being in a race where your own parent is trying to trip you at the finish line because they can't stand to see you surpass them. They want to remain the star. They want to ensure you don't outshine them. They want to maintain their perceived superiority. What they are really feeling is, your success highlights my own insecurities or unfulfilled potential. I need to be the center of attention, and your growing light threatens that. This isn't healthy encouragement. It's a toxic rivalry born from their own fragile ego. If these dynamics are resonating with you and you are recognizing patterns from your own life, please know that you're not alone in this experience. Understanding these painful truths is a vital step towards healing and building a life based on your own worth. If you feel you need support in processing this, consider reaching out for help. Truth number 6. Narcissist parent uses child as pawn. Instrumental love. Number 6. Narcissistic parents often instrumentalize their children. using them as tools or pawns to achieve their own goals. This is common in divorce situation where a child might be used to hurt the other parent or to gather information. But it can also be more subtle, like using a child's illness for attention or manipulating a child to take sides in family disputes. Have you ever felt like you were caught in the middle, a message bearer or a weapon in someone else's war? It's that awful sense of being used, where your well-being is secondary to the parent's agenda. A child in this position often feels immense pressure and divided loyalties, thinking, I have to choose, or if I don't do what they want, they'll be angry with me. It's like treating a child like a chess piece, moved around the board to serve the parent's strategy, with no regard for the piece's own desires or well-being. They want leverage, they want allies, they want to win, whatever the cost to the child. What they're really demonstrating, your value lies in how useful you are to me in my conflict or my pursuits of social gain. Your emotional health is collateral damage. This isn't parenting, it's exploitation. Truth number 7 is narcissist parent fails to nurture child's needs unmet. 7, true nurturing requires selflessness and a focus on the child's development and emotional needs. Qualities a narcissist inherently lacks. Their focus is almost always on their own needs, their own comfort, their own desires. This can mean emotional neglect, where a child's need for comfort, guidance, or validation goes chronically unmet. You know, the deep ache of longing for a parent who truly sees you, supports you, and puts your need first. Sometimes as a child, you might have learned to suppress your needs, thinking my feelings don't matter or it's no use asking for help. Many children of narcissists become parentified, taking care of the parent or younger siblings, because the narcissist is incapable or unwilling. It's like expecting a dried up well to provide life-giving water. The resource simply isn't there. They want to be catered to, not to care. They want their needs prioritized. They see a child's needs as demands or burdens. What they're really exhibiting is, I am the center of this family. Your needs are secondary and will only be met if they don't inconvenience me or if meeting them brings me some form of narcissistic supply. This isn't about fostering independence. It's about a fundamental incapacity for selfless care. Reason number 8 will be narcissist parent projects flaws, blaming child for own issues. So number 8 is narcissistic parents frequently project their own flaws, insecurities, and unfulfilled ambitions onto their children. If the parent feels like a failure, they might relentlessly criticize their child for not being successful enough. If they have body image issue, they might obsess over their child's appearance. It's that confusing and painful experience, isn't it? When you are constantly being criticized for things that don't really seem to be about you at all, you might find yourself thinking, no matter what I do, it's never good enough. Or why are they always focused on that particular thing about me? It's common to feel like you're carrying the weight of your parent, unspoken disappointment. It's like they're looking into a distorted mirror and blaming the mirror for the reflection they see. They want an outlet for their self-loathing. They want a scapegoat for their shortcomings. They want to offload their internal baggage onto someone else. What they're really doing is, I cannot face my own inadequacy, so I will project them onto you. You'll carry the burden of my failures and anxiety, so I don't have to. This isn't constructive criticism. It's emotional dumping. So truth number 9 is narcissist parent devalues independent child, fear of losing control. And finally, number 9, when a child begins to assert their independence, develop their own identity, or no longer serves a reliable source of supply, the narcissistic parent often rejects, not with pride, but with devaluation, criticism, or even rage. This isn't rooted in love, but in a fear of losing control and a vital narcissistic feed. You know that feeling when just as you start to feel strong and independent, your parent tries to pull you back down or make you doubt yourself. It's that moment where you might think, I thought they would be proud of me for growing up, but they seem angry or sad. This can be incredibly disorienting for a young adult trying to find their way. It's like a puppeteer whose favorite puppet starts to cut its own strings. The puppeteer doesn't celebrate the puppet's freedom, but panics at the loss of control. They want to keep you dependent. They want to ensure you remain a source of supply. They want to prevent you from becoming truly autonomous because your autonomy threatens their sense of power. What they are really demonstrating is your independence signifies my loss of control and relevance. If I can't control you or get what I need from you, you are devalued in my eyes. This isn't a parent struggling with an empty nest. It's a narcissist losing a vital part of their self-sustaining mechanism. Understanding these painful dynamics is not about assigning blame forever, but about recognizing the truth of your experience. It's about validating your feelings and realizing that love you craved but didn't receive in the way you deserved was likely something your narcissistic parent was incapable of giving. And that realization, however painful, can be the first step toward true healing and self-love. And remember, you can and you will heal. Just start today. Thank you.